Hello, welcome to my presentation on documenting sources in MLA 8. If you have any questions, please email me at the email address listed here. This presentation uses materials from the MLA 8 book, the guide, and the Purdue OWL website. This presentation has two parts. Part 1 will focus on learning to document basic sources, a book and a journal article in MLA 8, by comparison with MLA 7. This part is designed for those who are already familiar with MLA 7. Part 2, on the other hand, will focus on learning the general approach to the principles of citation for MLA 8. In-text citation is not covered in this presentation since it remains largely the same as in previous versions. Part 1, coming to MLA 8 from MLA 7. To better understand MLA 8, it is best to start with MLA 7. MLA 7 was heavily rules-based, like most versions of MLA before it, and it became more rules-based over time. Starting with MLA 8, however, MLA decided to make their documentation system more focused on citation principles of documentation instead of rules. For MLA 7, an example source, a book, uses 4 of the standard journalism questions, and the type of source, the medium of publication, web or print. Notice that we have the who, the author or publisher, the what, the title of publication, the when, the time of publication, and the where, the city of publication, in addition to the type of source, the medium of publication, web or print. This is how things were set up in MLA 7. For example, here's what a book looks like in MLA 7. For the who, we have Ben Rayfoth, we have the publisher information, Utah State UP, that is University Press. For the what, we have the title, Multilingual Writers and Writing Centers. For the when, we have the year 2015. Where is the city, the publisher city, Logan, Utah. And then finally, we have the type of source, the medium of publication, which is print. Now notice in MLA 8, for a book source, we get rid of the following pieces of material. We lose the where, the city of publication, and the type of source, web or print. However, where can come back for old books, those that are published, for instance, older than 1900, where the publisher is less significant than the city itself. So for MLA 8, we're largely left with 3 pieces of information: the who, the what, and the when, although where can come back at times. So note what we have here for an entry in MLA 8 for a book. Notice we have the who, Ben Rayfoth, Utah State Press, the University Press is the publisher, the what, and when, 2015. This isn't too much different than what it looks like in MLA 7. Note the 2 pieces of information that are gone, however, again. Here in red, you'll see that Logan, Utah, and the type of source, print, are highlighted in red in the first example that we would see under MLA 7, and these items are those that are missing in MLA 8. Next, we will examine an example journal article in MLA 7 and show how it is cited differently in MLA 8. Notice that we have for our sample journal article the who, Sippai Klein, the what, the title of the article, the when, both the date of publication and the date of access, the where, the Writing Center Journal, volume 33, number 1, pages 136 through 140, the page range, and the type of source, the medium of publication. Now notice that the where is going to come back here for this type of source. The where is more fluctuating when it comes to books in MLA 8, but it's pretty static. It's generally there for other types of sources in MLA 8. Here are the changes MLA 8 usually makes. For one thing, we don't generally need the date of access, although that is optional in MLA 8. And volume and number of the issue, actually, we add text information for that, as we'll see shortly, and for the page range. So we add volume and number labels for the volume and issue. We punctuate each of the fields with commas for journal articles, and we use PP period before page numbers. And in the case of a single page, you could get away with using P period for that page. So here's what it looks like. Notice the differences. Again, volume and number labels, the page range and commas used to punctuate the fields, starting with Writing Center Journal, then volume, then number, then year. Notice the difference in not having parentheses around the year, and the page range, period. Again, the date of access is now optional. Again, note the differences here highlighted in red between a journal article in version 7 and a journal article in version 8. A general way of thinking about the differences between MLA 7 and MLA 8, generally broadly. Number 1, for book sources, we subtract unnecessary information, that is, the city of publication and the type of source. Number 2, for journal sources, we add additional information, the volume and issue number labels, commas for punctuation, and the page labels for page ranges. Let us now shift gears from thinking about transitioning from MLA 7 to MLA 8 to something else. We're going to examine how we might think about MLA 8 from a fresh perspective. Here is the end of part 1 of this video and the beginning of part 2. Stay around for part 2 because we're going to have some exercises that we can do together at the end of that video.